Good afternoon, everyone. Ken Angst, Hope Properties MV, the Angst Real Estate team. Hope everyone is doing well. It's a little smoky here in northern Nevada. Apparently, we have a fire up in Susanville, about a 2-hour drive, and it's bringing a lot of smoke in here. So we're shooting indoors today in the home office. Today's video is all about presenting the numbers from the Reno Sparks Association of Realtors 2020 for June. What the market is kind of telling us right now is it's still a seller's market. Lots of pressure on buyers. What's driving one of the things is low interest rates. We're actually seeing several clients that are locking in interest rates for 30-year fixed. You wouldn't even believe it, around the 3% or even a little lower. We've had someone lock in lower recently. So very low historic interest rates. Also, what's driving the market, in my opinion, that stands out the most is the governor's directive to not allow tenant-occupied properties to be shown. You can list them, but realtors cannot show them, which makes it very difficult to sell them. So still a seller's market. What I'm going to do right now is we're going to hop on to the computer. I'm going to review all the numbers with you. And then what I'll do is come back and kind of give us our prediction on what's going to happen going into the late summer here. Let's jump into the numbers. We're sitting down in front of the computer and we're going to go over all the June 2020 market statistics for the Reno Sparks Association of Realtors. And then what we'll do is we'll go back live and I'll give you a little commentary on where the Angst real estate team thinks the market is going from here. Because there are going to be some important changes that are coming out in the next, hopefully, month or two that should hopefully balance the market. So the first stat that we see on the screen, and we're talking about median sold home price. And all that means is that at this price, half the homes sold were above this and half the homes sold in the area were below. So it came in at 407. Oddly enough, it's up 1.8% from May 2020 and up 1% from June 2019. So as you can kind of see, we're kind of just hovering around this slightly above 400 mark for the last 12 months. So that's a good indication that hopefully the market's kind of leveling off. Keep in mind, in my opinion, we'd love to see the market grow anywhere from 2 to 5% a year, year over year. That would indicate a healthy market and would be a market that everyone benefits, buyers and sellers. The second one that's an important statistic to look at this is the second one, and that is units sold. So from May 2020 to June 2020, it's up almost 33% to 537 and down 6% from June 2019. So a little bit down. We're about 30 units shorter than we were about a year ago. Days to contract, it's something that I'm not too concerned about. On average, what you're seeing in our market in northern Nevada is it takes about 30 to 40 days for someone that is actually putting a offer in that has a mortgage, just because of all the contingencies with appraisals and inspections and all that stuff. So 30 to 40 days is right in there. So I don't get too concerned about that number. Now, here's the number that I'm actually concerned about quite a bit. It's active inventory. It's down. It's at 708. It's down almost 22% from May. And the biggest thing is it's down almost 51% from a year previously. So we're basically operating at 50% of the active inventory we had at this time last year. Now, why is that? We've talked about this a lot on my podcast, but it's something that's important to reiterate is right now, the governor has a directive in the state of Nevada that does not allow tenant-occupied properties to be shown. Now, realtors are allowed to get photos from the tenant, put them on the market, but you can not show the property. And as you can imagine, people are not too excited to go buy a house that they can't kick the tires. So that's one issue. The other issue, like it or not, and it all comes down to the COVID-19, is a lot of people, including our clients, do not want to sell their house right now. So if they don't need to sell their house, they're kind of putting off doing that until the COVID-19 kind of settles down. So we have a lot of people on the sideline that are sellers that do not want folks coming in and out of the house because of concerns of COVID-19. So we have operating with an inventory of about half of what we had previously. Price per square foot, it's kind of a number that I'm not too concerned about. It looks like it's $234 a square foot. That's what houses are selling for. That's the median. New listings is another big one that you should be concerned about. Is obviously it's up 8% over May 2020 to 655, but down almost or a little over 17% from previously. So new listings are down, active inventory are down. So it's really putting a squeeze on the market for buyers. Most of what we're seeing for percent of asking is most of our listings that we've done this year, we're anywhere from 100% all the way up to 105% of the asking price, just because there's multiple offers, generally speaking, on most properties. So the sellers are really benefiting right now. So 98% is not something that I'm too concerned about, and you kind of see it's been there for a while, just kind of bouncing around 98 to 99%. Now, the last one on this thing, the statistics, which is important, I want to point out, is absorption rate. Now, what is absorption rate? We get that a lot. So, generally speaking, what absorption rate is that you take your number of active inventory and you divide it by the number of sales. So that's how you get it. It comes out to 1.3. Now, in a healthy market, and what I mean by healthy market is when there's enough inventory for buyers and sellers to both be in the market, unlike now, you would like to see 4 to 6 months of absorption rate. So a 4 and a 6, not 1.3. So that just kind of indicates to you is there's not a lot of inventory. We have record low interest rates, a lot of people moving here. So if we were not to put on any more houses, active listings on the market, what you're going to see is we would run out of houses to sell in 1.3 months. So kind of a scary figure. So anyways, that's a wrap of all the stuff that's going on in the statistics. Now we've had a chance to review all the data from the computer screen. I just kind of want to give some commentary on things to look for as we move into hot August nights in northern Nevada. First thing is there's several things that are going down that could potentially, hopefully, balance the market out. But still, uncertainty remains. The first thing is starting the 31st of July, the governor's directive on not allowing tenant-occupied properties to be shown expires. Now, I do not know if that is going to be extended because we've had some more COVID related problems in Washoe County and in Las Vegas, or if he's going to continue just to kind of let that slide. So what I expect if that expires is that there's going to be a lot more inventory available for people to choose from because people are now going to be able to sell houses that have tenants. So I think that's a good thing for buyers. The other unknown in my mind, speaking from someone that has kids, small kids, is the uncertainty of the Washoe County School District. What I'm seeing is the last I heard is they're going to send elementary school kids back full time with masks. And then it sounds like not elementary school, but rather middle school and high schoolers are going to go back in some kind of modified form where 2 days on, 2 days off, and some distance learning. So typically right now, if in a normal year, if you weren't in a house or moved already, we start seeing a significant slowdown in the market. But like I've been saying for several months is I think that's actually going to be shifted by 2 to 3 months this year, just because I think there's some pent up demand from sellers that need to sell and have kind of been waiting for a better opportunity. So I think that there's going to be a lot more inventory available. I think buyers are going to rejoice. And hopefully that's the case. Because right now, if you're a pretty qualified buyer, anything under 500,000, it's multiple offers. It's really tough. Fortunately, our team has been able to get quite a few of our buyers into contracts. And it has to do with a lot of the relationships we have with the majority of the agents we work with. But also putting in over asking. That's what kind of requires right now. But with that being said, it's going to be worth it to people who have been out there because interest rates are at historic lows. We're talking low threes, and we're actually seeing a few dip into the high twos for 30-year fixed. If you're a seller, I still think you have 2 to 3 more weeks. Keep in mind that a lot of our sellers are holding off, but if you need to sell, right now is a great time to get out there and get it listed. Typically what we're seeing is that you won't have to do all the improvements that you probably thought before just because the market's really tight. So give us a call if you want our listing presentation. We have some really good tips and tricks that can really help you out if you're a seller and as well as a buyer. So that is a wrap for June 2020 market update. If you guys have any other questions, comments, feel free to give us a call or reach out, email. Our number in the office is 775-525-0309. Everyone enjoy your week, stay cool, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks.